All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, guys, for helping us out here. I really appreciated those who come out of here and go into social media, Instagram or your TikToks, and you use the platforms. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right. It does help. This is why he's keeps saying good news, good news. So today we're December the 17th. He wants me to make it short and sweet. It is working, okay? They are losing, all right? So this is something that he's trying to let you know as well, not to lose hope. So there's a scripture, he always talks to the scripture. And that's another thing that I've been talking to him in the background, okay? So thank you guys so much for your like, comment, share, and subscribe. Sorry, I forgot to say that. It does help the channel, okay? It helps the movement, and it's helping these Palestinians' voices to be heard, okay? Because that's another thing that I kept saying in the past, the voices. And someone today in a post let me know that I was like, oh my God, it's true. Like, they're not voiceless. Like, this is the proof of that, the fact that we're being heavily censored, okay? So this is another thing. It's another good news, but also God giving people the opportunity to redeem themselves and actually get to work. We actually have to do this together, whether we like it or not, okay? The fact that this is there was two messages that he told me today, so I'm gonna try to put it all together. But today he was saying, let's talk about a little bit about activism fatigue, okay? Or when you do this type of work, this is why you really have to rely on God first, because he fills your cup spiritually so that you're able to use that beautiful power and do it and take action, whatever it is that it needs to be taking action from. This is when you listen to your intuition and your gut. This is where that action motivation comes from, okay? So when you have the intention of not helping other people during a time of genocide, and then you decide to choose the other side, because of course you have two choices. You have the choice of doing the right thing for your brothers and your sisters, no matter what religion, no matter what situation. It doesn't matter at this point, okay? We are 71 days and this needs to stop, right? So we need to continue that movement of Free Palestine ceasefire. It is working. And also the boycott. They're trying. The other message that he was saying is to agree to another person that also recently talked about this. Is called atrocity propaganda. But for most of us who do the climate activism, Black Lives Matter activism, like all those other things that we have done, that we have overcome a certain mile, because on all those things, even in climate change, now we're also seeing it all at the same time for climate activists as well. That you see there's this wall that they're trying to block it. How they do this? By creating propaganda, creating misinformation. And I want to repeat myself again. It is very expensive. So we taking our platforms and standing up for the right people, giving them the voice, because they're already speaking. Are you listening? This is another thing. The colonial energy situation, especially now that we're seeing now the USA have decided to make it illegal to boycott. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Anything not to lose the moolah, but you still gonna lose it no matter what. So it doesn't matter the repression or the oppression. At the end of the day, justice will be served, whether we like it or not. And I'm trying to tell you guys that right now is that opportunity, not only to connect with God, but also to have that opportunity to redeem yourselves, right? Something we call redemption or repentance, right? Where it comes that situation where you're like, yeah, I wasn't doing this right. I need to change that because that's wrong. That's fucked up to be okay with that, right? I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say. Those who are in the Christian and Christ-like situation that you want to like speak up and stuff like that. And I gotta go. I don't want to make this too long, but I just want to make something clear. There's two sides, right? And a lot of people, no, but we don't want to take sides. It's all neutrality and it's too complicated. Let me explain to you that 2 months ago and then 75 years ago, but at least those in the 2 months energy that you've been doing this work for the past 2 months, and then you haven't stopped, and yes, you're feeling the fatigue. This message is for you, boo, but also for those who are not doing anything as well. You're silent and you continue business as well, and you continue money, whatever situation. You're choosing money. There is two choices, because you could simultaneously try to do both. It's just that one of them, it's just, I'm too comfortable in my privilege. Am I right?
I already tried posting this and it's been suppressed. You can't even find it on my page, but for me it says it's been posted for an hour. Canada, Please make sure people see this video. So you want to know what's happening in British Columbia, Canada that's contributing directly to Israel's war crimes? Because I can tell you. That's right, I'm covering Canada in this series too. I'm going to reference this public doc, you know where to find it. And there's a US version too. I had to publish this on my own corner of the net, but just navigate over to that tab. Anyway, British Columbia, I'll tell you right now, there's a few cities that stand out, like Victoria, Vancouver, Burnaby, and Surrey. But there's others scattered all around. We're going to start with a big one. Victoria, meet Lockheed Martin. They have a rotary and mission systems site around you. And they're also the world's largest weapons manufacturer. If you click this link, it'll tell you exactly where their Canadian addresses are. Just if you wanted to, have that info. Lockheed Martin, in addition to making things like this, they're also known for things like this, and also this. On the bright side, this destination has some really cool events and gatherings that have taken place recently. Get out there, socialize a little bit. Moving on, British Columbia has 3 Boeing locations, 2 in Richmond, 1 in Vancouver. Now, Boeing and the occupier, they go way back. They have quite the history of collaborating. And staying true to tradition, Boeing was simply salivating at the opportunity to collaborate again. And wowie wow, Boeing is another company known for doing this and for doing this. These collaborations go so deep. And to put it in perspective, these 2 businesses are top 5 in the world. Along with these guys, you ever heard of Northrop Grumman? Maybe not, because in Canada, they never use their real fucking name. Sperry Marine is their wholly owned subsidiary. Don't be fooled, it's all the same. Welcome to Northrop Grumman, the 3rd largest manufacturer in the world. I swear I didn't do it on purpose, but here they are again, with the collaborations that are starting to feel more and more unoriginal. Sorry for all the cat hair that's always on my screen. In addition to surveillance, they also create other equipment, and they've been pretty open about their excitement for current events. I truly wonder why that would be. All right, of course we've got Victoria, but Burnaby, it's your time to shine, because you guys both have an L3 Harris. L3 Harris, they're some really innovative guys. They're pretty consistently in the top 10 for manufacturers. They make these kinds of systems, communication systems, this type of aircraft, drones, release mechanisms for these, night vision tech, and whatever space-based war tech means. I think that's intentionally vague. One thing I learned about them that I thought was really interesting was that they supplied this place with interrogation translators. And they also make cell site simulators, which are a type of surveillance tech. If you want to learn more about that, start here. Okay, British Columbia, we've got a problem. Because this is KBR. They deal in chemicals, specifically nitric acid. They've built, revamped, and continue to maintain multiple nitric acid chemical plants in Israel. A lot of nitric acid, which they say is being used as fertilizer, but they sure have asked for a lot of fertilizer recently. Why would Canada need to know about KBR? Because KBR is mining and drilling throughout your country, and they're not planning on stopping anytime soon. And I'm sure you don't need me to tell you, but this is maybe not the best thing for the environment. Okay, this is getting a little long, so I'm going to move fast. Burnaby, you've got a Hikvision. They're orange because they're on the BDS list. They're on the BDS list because they're working on this project. Look it up. It's this kind of program. Additionally, there's evidence that they may be involved in this newer project. Both are bad and very scary. I have multiple links about it. Surrey, you have got copper and brass production for ThyssenKrupp. This is a German company. They're known for 2 things. The Dolphin subs they send to Israel, and the submarine affair, also known as Netanyahu's current corruption investigation. You thought I was kidding about those collaborations? I'm not done with you yet, Surrey. You've also got a G4S, or as they're known in North America, Allied Universal. This is another one from the BDS list. They supply over 90 countries with security systems for prisons, including Israeli prisons, which just hold fucking hostages. They're one of the largest security companies in the world. Some consider them the largest, and they also really hate immigrants. Whoa, a headquarter location in Sinichton. I think I'm saying that wrong. It's for Actuonics motion devices, which I'm also pretty sure I'm saying wrong. They make something called the Matrix 600. It's a tear gas drone. And you already know who one of their biggest customers is. This is actually their only location, so it's kind of a big deal. CDM Smith in Burnaby. They build military facilities and migrant detention facilities all over the world, including Israel. A few in Israel, actually. Vancouver has a Cisco and 4 Microsoft locations. I suggest reading why these companies are on the list, as well as these 2, because they're both in Burnaby and also a couple other places. All in all, if I were visiting British Columbia, I'd be going here, and I'd be really interested to see if there's anything walking distance around Victoria, Vancouver, and of course Burnaby, and Surrey. I think according to my count, you have 3 of the top 5, so I would definitely be checking out those companies too. I hope this helps. Let me know what US state or Canadian province I should cover next.
Now, we all been guilty of that. There's no reprimand. There's none of that. It's just that I think we should acknowledge it and accept it and still continue moving forward. And the opposite side of what you think the enemy is using you as a distraction and not helping out right now, because the less people that we have helping the situation, the more the enemy think that it wins. But it's already not winning. What I'm trying to say is, and I'm done with the trying to save people and understand, it just is common sense. And also, you must be very heartless and not have a soul right now to think that, oh, because I don't have social media or because I don't look at the social media, and if I do see it, you probably have seen it through other friends, family members, or situation. There's been many holidays, many activities that has happened before this time, this moment, right? Again, this is a timeless message. By the time you're watching this, this could feel like kind of like news, spiritual news, okay? Because a lot of people trying to ignore the actual truth and facts because that's the colonial mindset. This is why we have to decolonize. And this is why Elon Musk and all these weird ass people who don't have a spirit, I'm telling you, they don't have intuition. All they rely on stealing, killing, and they have a record. All of them. When will be the time? Because right now is the perfect time. Right now. Thanks to the Palestinian and Congo and Sudan, right? But which is why we have to help them even more, because they're helping you see that we live in a system that it's criminals, right? Violence, genocide, profit. What? War with children, mothers, hospitals. This is genocide, permitted and allowed and put in our face. This is another thing where he wanted to make it clear for you. This is your Sunday spiritual thing. The fact of the thing is that if you get into it, you will see very clear. One side is not only creating propaganda and lies and creating videos and making it like true for you, for people in the media and stuff like that, and filming their evil doing. Like they are like, this is how God's like, he was just like, look, it's like they think they're so smart. It's recorded. They're recording it. And right now, each platform, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's allowing this. It's allowing them to spread the propaganda and silence us. We have been dealing for the past 2 months. I just want to let you know that I know I come here and put in the community, they don't want me to tell you this, and all of this, trying to come here, but we need you in the front line right now. And I don't care if you have 2 followers. I don't understand. I don't care. We need everyone. Do you understand? It's called ethnic cleansing. They're massacring Palestinians, and they're putting in the south. They told them that's the safest place, but right now they're attacking that too. They are killing in point blank. And we're watching it, but also dealing with the fact that they're trying to silence us, the people who are already in the ground, filming the actual facts, the truth, risking their life. There's 92, I don't know how many journalists right now telling us the truth, that these people are trying to quiet down, and you are helping it by not saying anything. Also, you risk us from, and you care so much, your spiritual community, you love your people. No, you love money. A lot of you need to understand, people are showing you and I will not let anyone, I will not trust nobody with my life, not even my energy, with people who are not standing for those who are needed right now. They're killing children. Okay, this is for the mothers. I don't know where your heart is. They're killing children. Babies? And then you guys are thinking that the Israel is that's where we're telling you is propaganda. When they're literally, if you get into this, you just see it. Just look at it. Israel is literally filming and talking about it. We're recording. We're taking evidence right now. In the Telegram as well, there's vocal about this evil doing. The wickedest, more pure evil that you could ever imagine. They're recording it and they're happy about it. This is narcissist, like intensely in our face. Also, how psychotic, how people of murder, violence, and the worst crime that we don't need people like this. And that too, they're trying to distort our images that we have of Jewish people. Be careful with that. That is the dangerous one. That's the one that God is trying to, guys, to let you know that the enemy is trying to do. It has nothing to do with the physical, but yeah, the physical is fucked up. And the more we stay quiet, it's what? We're going to continue doing this. How long are you going to continue selling your products and stuff like that when there's literally every 10 minutes there's a child being murdered? And we could do something about it because we are the people. It's us. We take power, but we have to literally so comfortable in our own sadistic ignorance fucking shit that I don't understand. It doesn't take long. Okay, you can continue doing whatever it is you do with your life, but you choose in the morning, afternoon, whatever the fuck, or try to see if you could do all day. I'm sure you can let go of your Netflix on your little situation that you're dealing that is not that important, right?
Figuring out who is right and wrong between Israel and Palestine is not complicated. Palestine is right, Israel is wrong. Welcome back to Deprogramming Propaganda, where I take a closer look at propaganda that specifically used to work on me in hopes that it can stop working on me and maybe stop working on you as well. Today we're looking at the phrase, "it's complicated." And no, it's not in reference to relationships. While people on the right often just say we should support Israel absolutely, a lot of people who consider themselves liberal often just use the party line, "it's complicated." I'll tell you right now that was my response for years and years. Whenever someone brought up Israel and Palestine, my first thought was, it's too complicated, let's not get into that. The interesting thing about that is that I never tried and then failed to look into it and decided that it was too complicated for me to understand. I was told by other people that it was too complicated to understand and that I shouldn't bother looking into it, so I didn't. That is, until it became too big an issue for me to ignore. When I was finally forced to look into it, it turns out it's not very complicated at all. Israel was specifically founded as a settler colonial project. This means Israel's very existence is predicated on violence. Specifically, violence towards the people who are already living there, aka the Palestinians. The initial violence of founding Israel has led to 75 years of consistent violence against Palestinians. Now, I know many of you are going to be quick to point out that Palestinians have committed violence during that 75-year span as well. But it has always been within the context of fighting back against the Israeli occupation of their home. Am I willing to condone every single act of violence that Palestinians have committed in order to fight back against Israeli oppression? No. However, I can't condemn any of it either. You are not able to morally condemn violent resistance in the face of violent oppression. The only way that we can condemn Palestinian violence is if Israeli violence comes to an end and then they keep committing violence. Until then, we cannot condemn those who are resisting oppression, because if you are in the same situation, you may be doing the same things. You cannot convict someone of a crime they have not committed yet. Two things have to happen before you can condemn any Palestinian violence. The first is ceasefire, and the second is land back. When you guarantee Palestinians the right to exist in their ancestral homes, and they continue to commit violence, then we can start condemning them. But something tells me that they are going to stop fighting once they've won what they've been fighting for. But that leads me to what is sort of different about this episode of Deprogramming Propaganda. Given all of your responses to my previous videos, I have a pretty good feeling that most of you agree with everything I've said so far, or at least the grand majority of it. You agree that the phrase "it's complicated" doesn't apply. Once you've seen the apartheid walls, the lines of men stripped down to their underwear sitting on frozen concrete, and the bodies of NICU babies decaying in their hospital beds, it's pretty easy to see this as fairly simple, fairly black and white, and fairly not complicated. So who is still using that phrase, and why? Well, if you are looking for experts at sidestepping atrocities, you can look no further than liberals. Over and over and over again, the people who are still trying to convince us to vote for Joe Biden are using this phrase to sidestep the entire genocide to get us to talk about what? Increased infrastructure spending? as if a few roads getting repaired outweighs being actively genocidal. But here's the thing. They know they can't make that argument because they know that argument sounds insane. They can't say the phrase, ignore that genocide, I want to build another oil pipeline, which is another tactic of genocide against Native Americans. Instead, whenever they are pressed to talk about Palestine, all they say is it's complicated, so they can ignore the topic completely and move on to all the good Joe Biden is doing. They are asking us to ignore our complicity in genocide so that you can get what? Faster internet speeds? They are trying to convince us that that is a legitimate trade-off. Or are they? Because again, that sounds insane. I don't think everyone who is still voting for Biden is insane. I think they are in denial. I think they think the only way that they can be politically engaged is voting in an election every 4 years. I think that they think there is no way that we can actually pick our own candidates. I think they think we are all slaves to the whims of the ruling class. I think that they know supporting Israel is a morally indefensible position. But because they feel so scared and so hopeless about the prospect of actually being able to create real change, they have to shut their eyes. They have to shut their ears, and they have to pretend it's not happening. They've been on this app too. They've witnessed all of the things that we have witnessed to understand that this is not a complicated conflict. However, they have to tell themselves that it is. They have to pretend like there are extenuating circumstances out there somewhere that justify all of this. Even if they have not seen them, even if they can't prove their existence, they have to believe that, otherwise they know how morally reprehensible they are. So next time you hear someone using the phrase, it's complicated, understand they are not trying to convince you. They are trying to convince themselves. They are trying to continue to convince themselves that Biden is worth supporting, even as the reality keeps coming back to tell them no, he is not. And the only way that we can break through that wall of denial is by continually forcing them to have to address reality. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like my work and want to support it, check out my Patreon through the link tree in my profile. Also, thank you to my Patreon supporters, Andrew and Steven, for all of your support.
Yes, other things are important. I'm not saying neglect your life, neglect things, but you need to compromise. There's that juggling two of pentacles that we see in that energy, right? I'm sure you're watching lots of readings talking about that. Please understand. This is why in the energy it feels this way. It's because all of us are supposed to be in the front line, online. Do you understand? So if your divine masculine doesn't want to approach you right now, it's silent because they're working. Are you? I hope you are too, boo, because that's the energy right now. And some people are stuck in delusion and kakalaka. Like, you can continue your stuff, but most of your content should be talking about the situation. I don't know, especially those who have large platform. Where is your heart? How are you able to say that you're healing or helping people, or that you want people to get your readings and coaching and stuff like that from you, but you don't stand for those who are... What kind of Christ is in your heart then? Because that makes no sense. This is why a lot of us, we're very confused by your behavior, for real.
I don't know how to be angrier. I'm the type of person that researches about this stuff a lot. Apparently it's connected to my autism. The clinical term is morbid obsessions. The concept that I cannot fathom how people can be so evil, and so I just need to research these crimes against humanity for hours on end. Over a lifetime of doing that, there's not a lot that surprises me anymore. This, though, this is fucking shocking. Because after a lifetime of researching morbid obsessions, I understand. I understand how and why Israel was able to do everything up till now. Doesn't make any of it any less evil. It doesn't make any of it okay. But I understood the mechanisms of the lies and the propaganda. I understood how someone could conduct a bombing campaign against children and have the cognitive dissonance to think they weren't hurting anyone. I understood that. But this is point blank. This is staring them in their faces. There isn't cognitive dissonance here. This was someone looking at the face of a child and saying, you know what? I'm going to be the one to end you today. Like I said, it's not less evil than bombing and starving children, but it is somehow less human. And they want us to excuse it. Not only that, they want us to support it. They think that I have more in common with the gunmen than I do the children who are lying dead in the streets, and that is insane. Because those children who were shot in their school were human. And I don't know if I can say the same about the people who shot them.
I hope you can hear me. There's no one in the bus right now, so I could say something. What he was trying to say also is that the distraction is part of it. Okay, so it's just continue whatever it is that you are meant to be doing during this time. Okay, but he's not saying to derail yourself from your goals and dreams. That it's just to add this as an addition, like a combine. Okay, that it also entails like prayers and like boycotting and stuff like that. Like continue doing this type of work. Okay, yeah. Also, the hope is higher, much higher, because that means you have love in your heart. Okay, so what he's saying is that harness this hope, like the hope that you have right now is what gives courage and strength to the Palestinians of Congo, Sudan. And also, the more we're talking about it, the more they feel like they've been heard. Like, just put yourself in their situation. That's what empathy is, and that's how you know who doesn't have that in their heart. So act currently. Okay, like it's strange that we're in 2023 and making it educating, saying this, that is common sense to care about other people other than yourself. And the fact that a lot of you're retaliating about this or not doing anything, ignoring it, I'm just saying, like, what goes around comes back around. And if you're not helping people, watch how when you need something, it's not just us that's going to ignore you and not even look at you. Do you understand? Just remember that, like, God is watching y'all. I don't know how you guys act these days, thinking that you can do whatever you want. Like, the enemy really got you up, really brainwashed you to the point that you have completely ignore your own humanity, your own soul. And then you have been so in habit that confirmation that money is more important and valuable than life. We saw that in 2022. I saw it. That's why a lot of you, that's one of our first spiritual awakening for those who are doing this work. For real. And that's it. It says a lot about y'all, okay? Now, the other message that he was saying is that we have to make sure that in the comments or anything other than Zionists, Nazis, or whatever talking, these They're being brainwashed, propaganda, like they're raised like this. You cannot change these people unless they find God, because they need Jesus, for real. And probably it's way too late. Way too late about that, right? We know that, right? So there is this period affment, right? Affment, he kept saying. But right now, he needs you to stop, like, don't comment on these people. Don't give them extra energy, because right now the algorithm picks up on their energy and then sees that their comments is more, you see how disgusting these people are? The algorithm ranks them to their content because they're trashing us, right? They're bullying and gaslighting us, and we're trying to like educate them, right? Don't educate these people. They know how to educate themselves. This is another energy that the algorithm is using that and promoting their content and whatever they're doing by you answering, trying to defend yourself. Stop defending yourself. Stop defending that person, and that whoever is posting, they can defend themselves. They don't have time, that's okay. I believe you should delete the message, delete the comments, or report these people. That's just what I think. But I know that's extra work for those who are constantly, trying to beat the cyber war, because that we're dealing right now, all of us. Very soon, my spiritual tower community is going to happen to you. They're going to silence your content. So right now, we're asking you, since you haven't experienced, you're not experiencing that situation right now, just like we helped you in that time that you were dealing with censorship too, boo. You know, right? So all you got to do is help us out here, right? And then even when they try to censor yourself, continue going. We're still going. It's not stopping us. It is working. That's the point. This is where we get to that wall, that they're expecting us to stay in that wall. But we are going to break that wall in the name of Jesus. Amen. That's what he's saying. That's the good news. Now, we have to be balanced. You have to, he's saying, like, you can't just like, continue this work like is helping, doing it at a certain time during the day. They're expecting this. They're expecting us to get tired, okay? This is part of the propaganda distraction, the confusion, creating confusion on other people instead of them educating themselves, because that way you're not going to be confused. Also sticking to God, because God is not the God of confusion. So when you do that, you can see right through. And yes, it's very painful. You're seeing the worst of kind of evil that you can ever imagine, but it's there for us. What are you going to do about it? You're just going to watch? You're just going to stay there? What? That's not the point. You're missing the point. Don't do that. Don't disrespect the Palestinian people like that. They're doing something that they will never, I bet you any Canadian will never want to record their atrocity happening to them. Would you? Or the USA? Or any other country, right? But you have to. Because they know not only they're spreading lies and propaganda, but they're also recording the videos of them doing the same atrocities that we're recording, and the pain and the suffering we're seeing, and us breaking our heart through all of this video, because we need to see them. We need to see them and save them. I need you to do this. Save, share. This is going to be like a tactic. This is like, like a Miyagi, okay? Like, okay? You share, story, okay? Save, okay? Comment. Ceasefire, free Palestine. Do you understand? This is the thing. You have to do this on a, yes, Miyagi. Wash, dry, okay? Consistently, because it is working. Whoever is doing, are we doing this on a daily basis? Then we are in the same energy, because it is working. Also, continue the same externally, outside of this energy, boycotting. I will suggest right now, I will record myself saying that I'm going to boycott and tag them on their companies. That's that's murder. Whatever exactly what they're doing to the Palestinians, that's what we're gonna do. But we're gonna do it in a civilized, kind, and beautiful way. We're gonna say it with Karen Hardley, we are permanently never coming here. I'll never, ever, ever getting back together. That one. Yes. Especially Taylor Swift, we're still waiting for you to say something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Again, I lose all respect for all celebrities at this point. I did unfollow everyone. I'm not. There's some celebrities that are doing this. They don't want me to say this with all due respect, because they're using you. Those who are celebrities, they're using you. You're collateral damage as well, because if ever this happens in this world, they don't care about you. Yeah. Sucks, right? But guess what? God, who cares about you, is trying to actually help you and save you and tell you, by the way, stop doing that shit or you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. It's already happening to those who are doing these atrocities right now. They're going to start feeling it. They already are. Okay, they're not telling you this. This is another thing. They're dealing with some stuff right now that if I tell you, you're gonna be like, oh, so yes, do not worry. Whatever you're seeing is just to induce fear and those trolls and bots or something like that in the comments. Ignore, okay? We on our platform, we need to make sure that that's clear out. So this is something that I'm going to start doing, and a lot of you, I recommend you to do that as well. I know that a lot of spiritual people, some of you have gone to their community and say, freeze fire, free Palestine, I love you, that was awesome. And then they have to leave your comment, right? They feel some type of way, like, oh, I'm not doing that. Like, that's negative, that's low vibration, right? It's okay. That's exactly what God is going to tell them the day that he asked him, hey, what did you do for Palestine? And then he's going to repeat the exact same thought that they had when they delete that comment. Okay? Trust me. God is beautiful. And he's going to do it in a very kind, merciful, and just way. Okay? But first, he needs to reveal the truth. Now, our job right now that he's asking, we fill our cup, have our faith, okay? And then boom, let's go, let's get it, let's go. The beautiful energy is that you can do it through social media, okay? And now, what I'm telling you, they're gonna try to bypass and try to do this thing, but also be aware, they're encouraging the criminals and people doing evil things to continue recording their atrocities. So it is also online that they're allowing for these videos to circulate, okay? So I need you to save them. You gotta save them. Not only for your own evidence, okay, but also for your own, yes. So you never forget. We're not supposed to forget. They're expecting this also. This is part of the atrocity propaganda and all the situations that they're doing online, because they have done this before. This I've lived before. This I understand. So a lot of us will deal with situations like this. We know this, okay? So we also have to work together, because that's the energy of like all of us together doing this. This is how we're able to overcome this and be able to help and bring some support to Palestine. And not only Palestine, Sudan, Congo, like this genocide needs to stop. Like we cannot be doing this anymore, right? So we cannot go business as usual and stuff as usual. Like I know this year it's not going to be like COVID, right? Like when they lied to you and you were able to get paid and stay at home and comfortable and all that stuff. I know this one is different, right? This is the one where we actually use that energy from 2020 and use it right now for the right situation to help Palestinians, right? It's different. This time we're actually losing money instead of gaining. But guess what? That time it was the enemy giving us money to stay stuck and okay with situations when it turned out to be fucking bogus, right? Fucking bullshit. You do know that we have spoke about this on my podcast as well in the beginning, where I told you guys that this disease was actually, they knew about it and they released it with the fact it's top of a war crime, right? But they didn't thought that the fact that a lot of people would not be spending money. Instead of like, they're like, oh shit, I wouldn't thought about that. Let's think of something else, right? Right now, they're trying to think every possible way, but we have reached that threshold. Congratulations. God is saying, congratulations. You have reached that threshold. At least those who have been doing this work for the past 2 months, God is watching everything. A lot of you feel like nobody's watching. There's less view, there's less like. What are we do? How are we going to do this? Don't worry. Give that word to God. He sees you. He knows your heart, and he's proud of y'all. Though with a good heart, that you not continue business as usual, but you still go in the thing and you still have to do what you got to do, okay? He's proud of you, okay? This is what spiritual work is, because it is happening to people that they don't deserve. This is not okay. This is what God sacrificed himself. This is not, we have the authority. We have the power. And we're letting them confuse us and forget about that. Also, let us distract us with bullshit. Stay woke, man. Don't fall for these traps. Continue to fight for free Palestine. Continue, okay? It is working. Don't let them confuse you. Don't let them get you tired. Drink your water. Drink your thing. Have some nappy time. Have some rest, okay? And then go back into it. And then take a break. You have to take breaks. What? Do you think these people in Palestine don't take breaks after they record and do all these things? And they thank God all the time that they're alive. What do you think, like, the strongest people are surviving? For real. But we cannot be pretending or ignoring that this cannot stay too long. Do you understand? So we need all the people to advocate, to come forward, okay? Through your posts, it does work, okay? Also boycotting, but also, in the background, like doing the work that we got to do, okay? Whew, the enemy really doesn't want me to see the message, but too bad, okay? There was a scripture that I had to tell you guys, okay, about this. Okay, sorry. Here we go. Luke 2, verse 10, okay? And it reads, "But the angel said to them, 'Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people.'" How can I forget that? What? Yes, and also the scripture today that he was really like this too. Oh, I hope I can see it. No, I can't see it. It was a good one. "Do not be afraid. I bring good news that will cause you great joy for all the people." Okay? So, there is good news. Continue what you're doing. Don't answer to Zionist propaganda, blah, 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 Nazis, okay? There's the worst thing that a narcissist hates the most is being ignored, okay? So just ignore them. They are sent by the enemy, okay? We talk about that in tarot readings where, people are used by the enemy. This is not a war of flesh. This is a war of spiritual, okay? So the enemy will send these people who already have hate and toxic energy, racism in their heart. So they're using them, right? So, and also they feel very comfortable sitting down, having, their couch, eating and stuff like that. Like, they have no worries in the world, right? Just to be hateful and miserable, right? So they are attacking those who are speaking the truth. Is because some of them are paid, okay? I just have to be honest with all of y'all. They are paid, okay? Others of y'all, there's people that don't even have to be paid. They don't even know that people get paid to do this shit. But they still do it because they're hateful and miserable and they're not educated. But that's not our problem, okay? God is recording all of this. I would suggest block them and report them, but you also can leave them there as evidence because everyone, and I mean everyone who has supported Israel, not Israel, the Zionist energy, okay? Because Jews will never do this, okay? Let's make it clear. Judaism is a religion and people who are Jews, like they're real ones and want to survive the Holocaust, like they're real ones, that they're seeing this like, oh my God, this is happening all over again. How sad and pathetic we are and disrespectful and insulting those people who dealt with the Holocaust. And now we're watching one right in our faces. And then on top of it all, this is why the Jews think that this is even worse, because they are recording their war crimes. I repeat, you will see on social media. This is why now they hide the truth. They hide those who are speaking the truth and on the ground and telling them to cease fire, to stop. This is genocide, right? And then them recording and laughing and making jokes and proposing and doing engagement, living like life has nothing happened while they genocide massacre people. And they're like literally celebrating it. And that's the content that is being allowed on social media. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you don't have your intuition on fucking point right now and you're connected to God and have this discernment, you will fall into the trap that everyone is falling. Do you understand me? That's the good news, my friends, okay? If you are standing on the right side of history, it's not just history, it's God himself. Do you understand me? Need you to be on the right side of history and leave everyone who is not in this situation. You need to let them fall. Because that's where they're going. They're expecting you to fall. They're expecting you. They're probably gaslighting and stuff like that. Like God keeps telling me, like now they're mad. No, you could be mad all you want. Not with me. I'm just a messenger here. You need to be okay with God. And if you feel some type of way, conviction and all of that, and you feel guilty and shameful and regretful, because you should feel those things. You should feel those things. Plus anger. A lot of us are in the anger stage. And then trying to alchemize and transmute and Ask God, like, God, why is it that I feel some type of way when I'm reading the Bible? It says Israel. I am telling you, I tell him, like, I gotta be honest. We have to be honest with God. What do we do now? The enemy make that in our heart. Put that, like, now I can't, when I read it, Israel, like, it's not. And then he keeps showing up and saying, that's not the Israel that I had in mind. That was not my doing. Please understand, this propaganda and situation that they're doing, this is not God. Let's just keep it in a nice, restorative way and civilized way. God is not okay with colonialism. God is not okay with capitalism, and God is not okay with imperialism. So let's make that clear. If you are on that side and you're okay with that and you're still continuing business as usual, well, we already know whose side you're on. And it's not of God. God bless, and I'll see you next time, okay? Okay, I think that's about it. I have to go. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, free all the other, no more genocide, stop the genocide, okay? For real, and ceasefire now, free Palestine, bye.